Hello everyone, and welcome to my review for Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 216. As always, if you haven't already, definitely be sure to like and subscribe. I like to try and hit at least 100 likes on this week's review. And without any further delay, let's get right into it. Now, I don't imagine this review being as long as the last few chapter reviews, because I think this chapter mostly speaks for itself. We find out what the bath is. It's kind of a very intense distillment of cursed energy through the distillment of actual curses in order to submerge Sukuna with such pure evil, like just straight up negative energy, that Megumi is almost fully repressed within Sukuna. Now, Urayume uses their ice technique to do this because otherwise the curses would die and just disintegrate. So that means they're alive throughout this whole process, which is really fucked up. As you would expect. That makes it even more cursed, I imagine. But apparently, this was originally used on a much smaller scale for creating cursed tools. It was used as a ritual to transform vessels, treasured as family heirlooms, into cursed tools. Now, I suppose there are two ways that you could see this. Actually, really only one, because when they talk about it, they say how long the vessel is submerged. I guess that's just the process for creating cursed objects. I originally considered the possibility that, that was how Sukuna got turned into cursed objects. Maybe? But then he would have to be submerged for, 10 months and 10 days. Unless he was already mummified at that point, in which case I guess you could do it. No. We don't really know Kenjaku's process for turning people into cursed objects for the purpose of reincarnation. Probably has something to do with binding vows, I imagine. But anyway, Sukuna takes his bath, he gets out, he still looks like Megumi. There's sort of an implication that he would be able to change his appearance. Also, maybe it just kind of looks like it because of the lower scan quality, but I swear the cursed blood splashing out as Sukuna emerges looks like silhouettes. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the cursed blood splashing around. This is going to look so much less cool in the anime when it's all just purple. How very unfortunate. Anyway, yeah, there's an implication by Sukuna that he could change his appearance if he wanted to. I think we kind of got an inkling of that when his head turned into a giant monster shark head and bit Hana. So, I don't know. But he notices that there's like this little cut on his finger, and it's not stated where he got this from. I suppose it could be possible that, Megumi is only able to withstand Sukuna to a certain extent, or I think the implication here, based on the fact that right as soon as he notices this, Sukuna asks, hey, where is Sumiki? Is that Megumi opposing Sukuna from within is maybe starting to break down his body to some extent. Who knows? But anyway, Sumiki's in Sendai. So, that's where Sukuna's going. Before that starts, we have a little bit of an interaction between Kenjaku and Sukuna and Urayume that's kind of funny, because Kenjaku has been the mastermind for the entire series, and now that Sukuna's back, he's not really masterminding anything anymore. In fact, his plan, as far as we can tell, is essentially complete. He doesn't really need to do anything anymore. So he's just hanging out. He's just chilling with these guys and being kind of an asshole to them, and they're getting annoyed with him, but he just seems to really want to talk to people, like just have conversations and really just go on and on about all of his plans, which is fair. I imagine if you spent like a whole millennia plotting something out, you would really want to brag to other people about it. You would want someone to talk to, so it's kind of relatable in a sense. But I guess he's just sort of hitching a ride now, hanging out with these guys, because, now that Sukuna's out, he's basically the main villain. I guess. Like, Kenjaku... It's weird to think about who is the main villain, because Kenjaku's been the one that's been moving the plot along the most, whereas Sukuna has been established as the big bad of the verse. Ultimately, I think Sukuna is the final villain. Is he the main villain? It would depend on your argument about how the narrative works. Anywho, Sukuna intends to destroy Sumiki because watching his sister die will completely destroy Megumi, and that means that Sukuna will be able to take him over completely and erase him, essentially. So they hitch a ride in Kenjaku's floating fish spirit, and they start heading off towards Sendai. And we see the two remaining original Sendai faces here, Uro and Ryu. The first thing I noticed, and the thing I really liked, is just how foreboding Sukuna's aura is. Like, it takes up the entire skyline. The whole horizon is consumed by his presence. That's so terrifying. It's so foreboding. Now, Ryu's, like, kind of excited, but you can also tell he's kind of nervous. Like, he's sweating bullets. Uro is having, like, a full-blown mental breakdown because she's like, holy fucking shit, the king of curses is here. And, you know, now he has, like, this new kimono on. This Zenin clan-style kimono. He looks really good in it. Looks really good. Now, it's not clear if Ryu went to go find Sukuna or if Sukuna went to go find Ryu. I think what it's more like is Ryu went to go investigate because the man just can't help himself. He loves sweets. It's super sweet. He has to see it. He has to try it for himself. And Sukuna, it's what was it? There was a chapter of Baki where it's like, even though I'm taller than this guy, I feel like I'm looking up at him. That's the kind of vibe that I get from this panel here, this stare down, in which Sukuna walks up to Ryu, who is very strong, who is able to fight Yuta, and says, are you gonna scram or not? He talks to him like some annoying kid, like, are you gonna get out of my way, or am I gonna have to move you? So, Ryu, from the looks of it, tries to go for a punch, and then before he can do anything, really, Sukuna cuts him with cleave, I guess. Cuts across his chest. And it's the opposite of what happened with the Curse Womb special grade, where it's like, oh, I was just trying to cut you into like 3 pieces and I ended up cutting you into a dozen. No, it's like, oh, I tried to fillet you in 3 and instead I just got like 1 slash across your chest. So, you know, durability feat for Ryu. Now, really, honest to God, when Sakuna said, are you gonna run or not? Ryu should have been like, yes, sir, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. But you know how it is with these battle-hungry types. They can't help themselves. Even as he's, like, running away, which it looks to be what he's doing. It looks like he's sort of, I think. It's a bit hard to tell. But, like, it looks like he leaps back based on the way the panel looks. He's trying to get to a distance because he's going to use Grenade Blast. And he doesn't get the chance because Sukuna does not hold back on the next attack. He's like, oh, you're actually pretty strong. Okay, I'll go all out for this attack. And, you know, it's nothing personal, kid. Yeah. So, can we get F's in the chat? Pour one out for my man, Ishigori Ryu. Truly the star of the Sendai colony sequence. Oh, this is so sad. This is tragic. There's always something so particularly sad about the charismatic, battle-hungry guys getting jobbed. You know? There's just something about that, like, they don't even get the chance to get any enjoyment from it. It's just so fucked up. So, a few takeaways from this. First off, I know a lot of people are upset about this. That's the point. Usually, you should get some sort of emotional reaction out of a character being killed off. Because if you kill off a character that no one really gives a shit about, then it's sort of like a waste of time. Like, why did you bother doing anything with them if you don't really care about them? Or if the audience doesn't really care about them? Like, I don't have anything against Uro. I like Uro well enough, but I'm not crazy about Uro. But I loved Ryu. So if this happened to Uro, I'd be like, damn, that sucks. Anyway, but in this case, I'm like, fuck. Gege's ruined my week. God damn it. The reason Ryu doesn't get, like, some big emotional death or anything, or a big character moment, is because, Ryu kind of had his character moment. His character arc was completed with him finally getting enough to satisfy him in his fight with Yuta. He finally had a fight in which he was able to go all out and, either go all out and have a satisfying conclusion, or to be able to fully expend himself in a fight and, it not be enough, to have enough to be full. But in this case, the man he bit off more than he could chew, and it, like, blew his fucking head off. Another reason he's a good choice is because it further establishes how powerful Sukuna is. Now, you may be thinking, do we really need that? We kind of know. Ryu and the Culling Game reincarnated sorcerers are new characters, so we kind of have to establish that Sukuna is still a threat to these new strong people, or, more than a threat, and also just one of these guys isn't going to be enough. I also think this puts Ryu pretty relative to Jogo. Like, I had him a bit below Jogo. Nothing against Ryu, but I think some people were kind of smoking crack when they, like, put him above Geto and shit. This is the worst possible takeaway from a character death. It's like, aha, I was correct in my power scaling take. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try to not do that. But yeah, rip to my man. Oh, and this shows that there's a big difference between Sukuna and Yuta. For starters, Sukuna goes for the kill. Yuta was not going for the kill against Ryu, and also, Sukuna is stronger than Yuta. So, yeah. Where is Yuta, by the way? Who knows? I imagine he'll probably be a bit upset when he finds Ryu's body. Hopefully he is not entering the fray by himself, because that would be a really, really bad idea. Nobody should be trying to fight Sukuna solo. That is such a bad idea. Because, like, Ryu's high tier, but he's not top tier. Sukuna fucking fodderizes high tier characters. You get, like, a top tier, and then you get a few high tiers to support them, and then you have an actual fight with Sukuna. Alternatively, you just get another presumed top tier and you throw him into a fight with Sukuna, because that's what we're getting with his fight with Yorozu, who's here. I can't tell if they're wearing new pants, or if, like, their body has transformed into, like, this weird bug body, because it kind of looks like they have a fucking thorax or something now, like a bug. Considering that they were able to grow wings, I imagine they can turn into, like, a fly monster or something. They're probably going to have some decay power or some sort of, like, insect swarm power. I imagine it'll be something kind of like Kurorushi, but not just cockroaches, and probably way worse. And Kurorushi was, again, pretty strong already. So, obviously, Yorozu's gonna fucking lose this. Obviously. some new Heian era sorcerer we just introduced going up against Sukuna with 10 shadows, yeah, fucking obviously they're gonna lose. Oh yeah, and apparently TCB did a bit of a translation error calling Yorozu a guy. I haven't looked into all the details, but there doesn't seem to really be a reference to them being a guy in the original Japanese, so I'm just gonna call them a they. I guess I could call them a she. I don't remember if it was said. I'll call her a she. Why not? It's kind of weird to talk about like a person that's inhabiting another person's body. So obviously Yorozu loses, but it's not really like the big crazy fight aspect that we're supposed to be super concerned about. We're supposed to be super concerned about the fact that Sukuna is trying to kill Sumiki, and if Sukuna kills Sumiki, we lose the wedge. Megumi is a wedge that the protagonists, who probably even together cannot beat Sukuna the way he is or will be when he gets the rest of the fingers, to create a crack in his armor, create openings that will allow them to defeat him. And Megumi's one of the main characters, so we gotta save him somehow. So obviously Yorozu cannot be killed here. I imagine they're gonna fight a bit. Sukuna's gonna start kicking the shit out of Yorozu, and then we're gonna have some other people show up. Probably Yuta, since we're in Sendai. Or, any of the other strong people. Kashimo. So yeah, Kashimo. Kashimo's unfortunately in the same category as Ryu, of being a sorcerer from 400 years ago. I don't remember what the name of the time period in Japan back then was. Was it Sengoku era? Is Sengoku era in the 1600s? Or did it end in the 1500s? I can't remember. I cannot recall. These 400-year-old sorcerers don't have shit on the Heian era sorcerers. But Kashimo has a technique he can only ever use once. So that thing's gotta be disgusting. I don't think he's gonna get anywhere near beating Sukuna. But I do think whatever he has is going to let him beat the fuck out of Sukuna for at least like a chapter. The way I think this works, Kashimo's technique, it is going to make him so fast and maybe so powerful that for a short amount of time, like a flash of lightning, Kashimo will be able to beat the fuck out of Sukuna. And then the technique burns out. I would not be shocked if using the technique literally kills Kashimo. I would not be shocked by that. And this doesn't beat Sukuna. It may rough him up a little bit, but I don't think it'll do anything too significant to him. What I imagine it'll do is it'll be for creating an opening, creating a distraction. In fact, I would not be shocked if Kashimo is the one that creates the opening for freeing Gojo. So, you have Kashimo sacrifices his life to keep Sukuna busy for a minute. And then we free Gojo. And then we have the one guy that can actually fight Sukuna. And then some people help him. That's the way I see it going. But what do you guys think? And what did you think of the chapter? I thought it was pretty good. Again, we're in a really good stretch of chapters. I think we've been reaching, kind of a Shibuya stretch of quality for like the last few chapters. Ever since Sukuna came back out, as you would expect. When Sakuna comes out, it's peak Jujutsu. So, really good. And the man's staying out. I'm going to go so far as to say, are we really still in the culling game? Like, the culling game's still going on, but I don't think we really give a shit about it anymore. So, what do we want to call this? Sakuna's Rampage? Or something? I don't know. The Free Sukuna or something. I have no idea. This final arc, that I'm going to call it, is off to a really good start. And since, Sakuna's going to be out for presumably the whole thing, it's going to be great. I wouldn't be shocked if this last stretch of the story is the best stretch of the story, because, again, Gege generally does not disappoint when it comes to payoff. And we are in the payoff stretch of the story. We are in the third act. And the third act is usually where you kind of pay off all of the stuff that you've established and built up to in the previous acts. It's the culmination. It's where you get the catharsis and all of the other lovely words about getting the stuff you've been waiting forever to get. So I've enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to more of it, and I hope you guys are too. But with that, that's all I've got for this week's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Jujutsu Kaisen chapter reactions and reviews every week that we get a new chapter. If you enjoy discussing Jujutsu Kaisen with other people, or just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I've linked that down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care.